Okay, so now we'll look at question 2. So in this one, we're looking at 4 cos 2x. So you can see that this bit here is a double angle. So I'm going to write down my 4, and then I'm going to look for the double angle of cos 2x. If I look at cos 2x, we end up getting cos squared x minus sine squared x. Cos squared x minus sine squared x. Take away the 2 cos x, and then we've got the plus 1, and that equals 0. Now, this is a problem because we still got cos and sine, so we need it all to be in terms of cos, so we probably need to get rid of this sine squared. So we're needing to try and remove that, so we can end up taking that as being 1 minus cos squared. Now, we can either remove that straight away, or we can multiply the brackets. So just remember that sine squared x plus cos squared x equals 1, which means that sine squared x is equal to 1 minus cos squared x. So I'm going to replace that. So we end up with 4 open bracket cos squared x minus open bracket 1 minus cos squared x close bracket, and then close another bracket, minus 2 cos x plus 1 equals 0. So now we've got a bit of sorting out to do, and just be careful of all these negatives. 4 open bracket cos squared x minus 1 plus cos squared x minus 2 cos x plus 1. Multiplying through by the 4 now, so we end up with 4 cos squared x minus 4 plus 4 cos squared x. And we've got rid of that bracket, so I can now write down minus 2 cos x plus 1. Okay, so now let's collect the like terms. So we've got 4 cos x squared plus another 4 cos x squared, which gets us 8 cos squared x minus 2 cos x minus 4 plus 1 gets us our minus 3. So now we need to factorize this. So we can either just put into our calculator to solve, and we'll find that cos x is equal to 3/4, or cos x equals negative 1/2. Now, we could have factorized this. Okay, the only way of making 3 is 3 and 1, and 1 needs to be a plus, 1 needs to be a minus. You've then got to think, if I take this as being 8x, then we're going to have, it's going to have to be the other way around, minus 3 plus 1, and we end up with 2 cos x, and we get 4 cos x, which gets us our cos is equal to 3/4, or cos x equals minus half. And if you multiply that back out, you get back to that line. Once we get to that, I think hopefully you now know how to solve, so we can use for the principal value. Again, for the principal value of 3/4, we end up with 41.4. For the principal value of cos to the minus a half, you end up with 60, which then overall we end up getting our answers. Now remember, because it's a minus, that means that's 60. It's not going to be, that's just the principal value. And in this case, all schools teach children. Because cos is negative, it is going to be in this quadrant and this quadrant. In this one, cos is positive, so all schools teach children, it'll be in this one and this one. which means that your final answer ends up being 41.4, which is one of the principal values, 120, 240, which both come from this side, and then we get 318.6.